ISAC AI Risk, often shortened to AAIR, is a specialized certification for professionals who already understand risk and now need to apply that experience to artificial intelligence. This episode is part of the Monday Certified feature from Bare Metal Cyber Magazine, where each week we break down one certification in plain English and explain where it fits in a real career path. AAIR matters because artificial intelligence is no longer limited to research labs or isolated technical experiments. It is moving into business operations, customer service, security workflows, analytics, decision support, software development, fraud detection, and many other parts of the modern enterprise. When that happens, organizations need more than excitement about new tools. They need people who can ask hard questions about accountability, reliability, data, oversight, control, compliance, and business impact.
If this certification is on your study list, a free and complete audio course is available in the Bare Metal Cyber Academy at baremetalcyber.com, complete with a study guide and a second ebook featuring 1,000 flashcard questions.
This credential is not meant to turn every candidate into a machine learning engineer. That distinction is important. AIRI is about risk management, governance, assurance, and program oversight in environments where artificial intelligence is being adopted. A candidate should understand enough about AI systems to recognize how they are built, used, monitored, and sometimes misused. But the center of gravity is risk judgment. The exam is asking whether you can help an organization manage AI responsibly, not whether you can write model training code from scratch. That makes it especially relevant for professionals in risk, audit, GRC, security, privacy, compliance, advisory, and enterprise governance roles.
The issuing organization is ISAC, a name that already carries weight in technology audit, security management, governance, risk, privacy, and digital trust. ISAC is known for certifications such as CISA, CISM, CRISC, CGEIT, and CDPSE. Those credentials tend to live close to business accountability, controls, assurance, and risk decision-making. AIR fits naturally into that ecosystem because AI risk is becoming part of the same broader trust conversation. Organizations are not only asking whether AI can improve efficiency, they are asking whether AI can be governed, explained, controlled, monitored, audited, and defended when something goes wrong. A good way to think about this certification is as a bridge between established enterprise risk practice and the new realities of artificial intelligence. Many of the risk categories are familiar, but the way they show up can feel different. A flawed model can produce unreliable outputs at scale. Poor training data can create biased or misleading results. A vendor tool can introduce hidden dependencies. A model can drift over time as business conditions change. A system can be technically impressive, but still poorly aligned with policy, regulation, or organizational risk appetite. AIR is aimed at professionals who need to bring structure to that kind of uncertainty.
This is usually not the best first certification for someone brand new to cyber, IT, audit, or risk. A beginner may want to start with foundational security, networking, cloud, audit, privacy, or governance knowledge first. But for someone already working around risk, compliance, security, privacy, assurance, or enterprise controls, this credential can make sense as a specialized next step. It is especially useful when your organization is starting to ask who owns AI risk, how AI projects should be reviewed, what controls should apply, and how leadership should receive meaningful risk information instead of vague technical summaries.
The exam content is organized around three major areas. The first is AI risk governance and framework integration. The second is AI lifecycle risk management. The third is AI risk program management. Those phrases may sound formal, but they describe practical work. Governance asks who is accountable, what policies apply, how decisions are made, and how AI risk connects to business objectives. Lifecycle risk management asks how risk changes from the idea stage through acquisition, design, development, testing, deployment, monitoring, and retirement. Program management asks how the organization keeps the risk process operating over time through controls, reporting, metrics, incident response, third-party oversight, and continuous.
The exam rewards applied judgment. You should expect questions that ask what a risk professional should do first, what matters most, which control concern is strongest, or which governance weakness creates the greatest exposure. That means the best answer is not always the most technical answer. It may be the answer that improves accountability, clarifies ownership, strengthens oversight, reduces business risk, or aligns the AI use case with established policy and risk appetite. Like many governance and risk exams, the wording matters. Terms such as best, most effective, primary, and first are important because they force you to prioritize.
One common misconception is that AI risk is only about technical model behavior. Model behavior matters, but the risk picture is much larger. A risk professional may need to understand whether the data is appropriate, whether the model is documented, whether a human review point exists, whether the vendor keeps customer data, whether the output can affect protected groups, whether the organization can explain decisions, whether a use case has been approved, and whether the risk has been recorded in the right governance process. The work is cross-functional. It touches legal, security, privacy, audit, data science, procurement, operations, executive leadership, and sometimes the board. The current exam uses 90 multiple-choice questions over 2.5 hours. It is a computer-based exam with testing center and remote proctoring options commonly available through PSI. ISAC reports scaled scores from 200 to 800, and a passing score is 450 or higher. The exam is closed book, and candidates should expect strict exam day rules, especially when testing remotely. These mechanics are manageable, but they still require discipline. You have enough time to read carefully, but not enough time to wander through every scenario without a plan.
A smart preparation strategy starts with the exam content outline and turns it into a practical map. Do not study the domains as disconnected vocabulary lists. Instead, think about how AI enters an organization. A business team wants a new capability. A vendor offers an AI-enabled product. A data science group builds a model. A department starts using a generative AI tool. A customer-facing process begins to rely on automated recommendations. Each situation creates questions about ownership, data, controls, monitoring, documentation, compliance, and response. The exam is easier to understand when you connect the domains to these real business situations.
Start by building the foundation. Learn the basic language of artificial intelligence risk, including training data, model validation, drift, bias, explainability, transparency, human oversight, and third-party dependency. Then, connect that language to enterprise risk management. Ask how each issue affects business impact, regulatory exposure, reputation, security, privacy, operational resilience, and accountability. After that, move into scenario practice. For each topic, ask what evidence you would want, who should own the risk, what control would reduce exposure, and how the issue should be reported to leadership.
Hands-on practice for this exam does not necessarily mean building models. For many candidates, better practice is reviewing an AI use case and asking risk-focused questions. What data does the system use? Who approved the use case? What happens if the output is wrong? Is the model monitored after deployment? Can the organization explain the result? Is there a human review point? Does the vendor retain data? Are there contractual protections? Has the risk been added to the enterprise risk register? What metrics should leadership see? These questions are the real working language of AI risk management.
The Bare Metal Cyber Academy can fit into that preparation rhythm as a flexible support system. The free audio course can help you absorb the major ideas while commuting, walking, doing administrative work, or reviewing between deeper study sessions. The study guide can give you a structured reading path when you need to slow down and work through the domains carefully. The flashcards ebook can help reinforce terms, distinctions, and scenario patterns in shorter review sessions.
The goal is not to memorize disconnected facts. The goal is to build a repeatable way to think like an AI risk professional. For career impact, AAIR is best understood as a specialized credential for a fast-growing area of enterprise oversight. It may support work in AI governance, technology risk, audit, compliance, privacy, security management, model risk, third-party risk, and advisory roles. It may also help professionals who are already being pulled into AI committees, policy reviews, risk assessments, vendor evaluations, or executive reporting. In those settings, the credential signals that you are not just casually aware of AI risk, you have studied it through a structured risk management lens.
Hiring managers are likely to view this credential as a focused add-on rather than a general entry ticket. That is not a weakness. It simply means the credential is most valuable when paired with experience or with other relevant certifications. Someone with audit experience may use it to move into AI assurance. Someone with GRC experience may use it to support AI control design. Someone with privacy or compliance experience may use it to understand how AI changes data and regulatory exposure. Someone in security management may use it to connect technical safeguards with broader risk governance.
In a broader certification path, AAIR usually makes sense after a foundation has already been built. Common earlier steps might include Security Plus, CISA, CISM, CRISC, CGRC, CDPSE, CISSP, or similar security, audit, privacy, and risk credentials. From there, AAIR can help you specialize in AI risk. Afterward, a professional might go deeper into AI audit, model governance, third-party risk, cloud security, privacy engineering, or executive governance. The exact path depends on whether your career is moving towards hands-on security, assurance, compliance leadership, consulting, or enterprise risk strategy.
The bottom line is that AAIR is not a beginner AI badge, and it is not a coding exam. It is a risk and governance credential for professionals who need to help organizations use artificial intelligence with more discipline, accountability, and control. The best candidates are people who already understand that technology decisions are also business decisions. If your work is starting to involve AI oversight, risk reporting, control design, vendor review, or governance conversations, this certification may be a timely way to formalize that shift. And with a structured study plan supported by the Bare Metal Cyber Academy resources, preparation can fit into a real professional schedule instead of taking over your life.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.